Okay, one more for today. It is this tangle called Canomo. Canomo. Not too sure how you would pronounce that, but there it is. It appears to be one of those sort of grid-like dot grid tangles. It appears you start with, let me make that bigger. Start with a square, a dot, a square, a dot, and then alternate that. So that's where I'm going to start. I've never tried this, so we're going to give this a go. I'm going to bring this in and out of frame as I work, because this one looks like it's a little bit more complex than some of the others. But it might not be. It might just be because, you know, Grids and I don't always get along. And as a matter of fact, since Grids and I don't always get along, I am going to do just a light pencil here to help me line up those things. I'm going to put those squares in the intersections of all of these spots here, and then I'll put the dots in between. So I'm going to start with putting the square. Oh, no! I've already goofed. No, I haven't. Take it back. No, I haven't. Alright. Okay, I'm going to do a square and a dot in between. Then yeah, let's see, Grids and I have already done something not quite right. Not quite right. Well, that's going to make it much smaller than I wanted. Poop, 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 poop. Alrighty. We're going to leave that alone. In here, we're going to put a square, and then a dot, and a square, and then a dot, dot. And we're going to somehow incorporate that. And we're done. Because I don't have any more pieces of paper cut. So I'm just going to have to live with what I've done. So I've got squares and dots, dots and squares, every other one. How I didn't do every other one to start with, I do not know. Dot, square, and a dot. And over on this side, I'll have to do something to match that. We'll see what happens. Let's just pretend. Let's cover this up temporarily and pretend that doesn't exist. Okay. So then what do I do next? I do these sort of eyebrows from the dot. From the dot to the square, dot to the square, dot to the square. And let's do it this way. Dot to square, 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 dot to square. Okay. And then we do it the other way around, dot to square. I'll return. So now I'm going to go dot to square going this way. Dot to square, dot to square. Whoops. I'm not on the square. We'll just make the square bigger. Dot to square. Dot to square. Dot to square. Okay. How do I want to incorporate that? I'm gonna do something. Yeah, I could have continued on and just made them small. Absolutely, looks like I could have. Oh, I just didn't do this the way I had anticipated in the least. Okay, let's do square, dot, square, dot, square. And then dot to square, and then turn it, and then do dot to square, and make the square bigger if you don't land on the square. Alright, now what? Today must not be my drawing day. Alright, so now what do I gotta do? I gotta go from the square to the dot, and then over a little. Square to the dot and over a little. Square to the dot and over a little. Like a triangle. All going this one direction. Okay. Oops. Alright, let's try that. So I'm going to be easier to go from the dot to the square. Okay, so I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go from the dot to the square. Get that out of my way. And then over a little. That's not lined up right. That's upside down from my phone. So, okay. That goes, let me show you my thought process here. I gotta turn it so that I'm making sense. So this goes here to the dot is there, right? I'm having a hard time seeing where the dots are, where my landing spot should be. So it should go like that, which is what I just did. Right? That to that, and this over here. So this to this, and this to here. This to this, and this to here. Right. Dot to there, and there to there. Here to there, and there to there. Righto. Here to there, and there to there. So here to there, and there to somewhere. Here to there, and there to somewhere. Okay. And then what? And then you turn it and do the other way? It appears that you do. So then you go from this dot, and turn it, here to there, and there to here. Here, there, and there to here. It's not that hard once I got the hang of it. It's just figuring out where the dot is. Okay. Dot to the square and the square. Something like that. And then I have to try to incorporate this mistake. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dot there. No, that's not right. Kind of. That works only on one side. Okay. But it doesn't work here because that should be, this one should be, yeah, that's not working. Maybe if I do dot to square. Oh, we'll just do like that. That's not exactly right, but it kind of. I can kind of fudge it. Alright, so this part here is not exactly accurate, but the rest of it's not bad. And then it shows that we can do variations on the theme here. It's sort of Huggins-like. Oh, let's just use a variation and just disguise some of this mess that doesn't quite match. So if we get enough lines in here, you'll never see that it doesn't quite match. Absolutely. You can do this with any tile. If you get something where you've gone and it doesn't quite follow along with the step out, and that happens to me a lot when I've never done a tangle before. Now if I drew this, I've just done this just straight from looking at it and doing it, and I'm doing that on purpose on all of these, unless I've happened to have already come across this tangle before. I'm doing it on purpose on all of these just to show you that it's okay to experiment with your tangles. It's okay to make mistakes, and you can still end up with a tile that is pleasing by just going back and just, you know, you get the tile busy enough, your eye does not notice any mistake. They just disappear. So if I get enough stripes and solids in here, you really won't notice. Which one? This one. And this one. Ooh-wee, is it a hot day? I really could use a little air conditioning, but I'm going to be going to work soon, so I'm not going to try to spend time in the AC. No spending extra money that I don't need to. I will just tough it out, and then when I get to work, it'll be nice and cool in there. Yesterday was, the week had been so nice earlier in the week, and then of course yesterday on my day off when I'm having a little get together at my friend's house, and it was supposed to be backyard barbecue pool party, and it was so darn hot. Nobody wanted to go swimming, and nobody wanted to go off sitting out in the sun. So we ended up most of the afternoon inside her house, which was not her intention, but it sure was hot. I think it ended up being like 105, 109, I don't know what it was, but it was hot. I'm just going to randomly stick a line and a dot to further help distract my eye. There we go. That's not so bad. Let's give it a little shading. Not too sure exactly how I want to shade this yet, but let's give it a little something about just inside these little inner parts. We'll just do the left hand side here. And maybe I'll do, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do right hand and then left hand, and then we'll just mix it up and do rights and lefts, lefts and rights. And that will further confuse my eye. So I don't know which way is up, which way is down, which is right, which is left. Like that. Oh yeah. Okay. See? A little bit of extra lines, a little distraction, a little shading. Looks good. This is Canomo. There we go. That's my version. And I'm sticking to it too.